Hello, my friends, and welcome back to 1111 Outdoors. Today, we're going to look at something just a little bit unique. Probably a great number of people have never even seen one of these. Unless you've worked on the water or you have some type of nautical background, you've probably never seen a Marlin Spike. Now, if you're a bushcrafter, you probably use the Marlin Spike knot for a variety of things there. And that is where this thing kind of hybridizes to both types of lifestyles. Here's the thing. If you're a sailor or if you're an able seaman or if you've been around the block as far as being on deck, I totally respect your craft. I'm not in any way claiming to be an expert. I do have a little bit of experience, but in no way do I claim to be an expert sailor or anything like that. This is just me having knowledge of this tool and used this tool and found it useful. Useful enough that I invested in one to put in my cordage bag because I really think that it is a great little utility knife when it comes to cordage. And here's why. This is called a Marlin Spike knife or a sailor's tool. I call it a sailor's tool because even though it does have a Marlin spike, they do have specific spikes. This is what I call a Marlin spike. And probably most people would agree this is a Marlin spike. This is a sailor's tool that has a Marlin spike on it. So you can call it a Marlin Spike knife, you can call it a sailor's tool, whatever floats your boat. But here's what it has on it. It has the Marlin Spike. It has a pair of pliers. It has a knife, and this oval piece here is used to open up shackles. Like this one's tiny, but they have larger shackles on deck rigging on boats and whatnot. And this is designed to turn those shackles, to take that key out to open up that shackle. Now, this thing comes in handy in, I believe, all walks of life. I carry it in my cordage bag because it is made for cordage. Now, the main purpose of a Marlin Spike is splicing. So, if you don't know what splicing is, I'll walk you through that just real quick. Splicing is, and I wish I had a piece of 3-strand rope, but I don't. I have this, which will kind of give you an idea of what these strands are. And they have rope that is composed mainly of like 3 strands. So instead of having all of these strands, it has 3. And you can take those 3 strands apart like this is. You can turn it back on itself and you can weave those strands back into this network of braid to make what they call an eye splice. So effectively you have a loop at the end. And it's incredibly strong and incredibly useful. And it's kind of an artwork. I have done it a few times, and I can tell you I'm not the best at it. But there are some people that can weave this into here, and you would think it was machined that way. Absolutely beautiful rope work on those people's parts. Now, that's basically what this is for. So you can get in there whenever you are, splicing your rope together. You can get in there and open this up and create a pathway for your strands. And with 3-strand, it's much easier because you're not counting through all this. I'm sure there's someone that can do this multi-strand rope, but usually people do it with the 3-strand. That being said, that's what this is mostly used for, is splicing, which is just basically weaving rope into rope. And you can do a splice where you have 2 ends go together. You can do a splice where you form it back around and make a loop. It's very, very cool talent that people have. I've seen people do miraculous things with ropes. But that's not the only thing this can be used for. Basically, when I use it, well, we'll go to the last time I used it. I pulled this tool out to show it to you, and I started carrying it around and familiarizing myself with all the different ways that I do use it. And that was a fun exercise. I carried it in my cordage bag for a long time, but utility wise, it's fun to, take it out, see what you'd use it for in the moment. So I'd like to say that the last time I used this was, on the open ocean and the sea was angry and blah, blah, blah. But that's not even close to true. The last time I used this was my son was getting ready for a basketball game and his shoestrings were completely knotted up. I don't know how that happened, but they were a wreck. And I had this on me because I was preparing for this video. And the knot in his shoe, I was able to get out extremely easy because I had the spike with me. And you can see how it just basically opens up knots extremely well. And if you're somebody like me who keeps their nails really short, this is very helpful. And if you're a bushcrafter or tradesman that uses cordage, then you know the knots are inevitable. And if you're working with people who are unfamiliar with rope and cordage, then knots are absolutely inevitable. So if you have one of these, you can get just about any knot out with this. And that's effectively what I use it for. And we use cordage for a lot of things. Like the other day we had a class where we were teaching people how to make fishnets out of, like 550 cord. And you basically just, you have strands that you tie together and you can run through, you can lace it in, and you can make it very, very complicated, or you can keep it very simple. So we were trying to show people the different ways that you could do that. Well, during that course, there were tons of people that were just like tightening down knots to an extraordinary level. So having a Marlin Spike was very, very helpful when it came to that. And like say this Marlin Spike and this Marlin Spike, the diameters are, you have this diameter all the way to this. So it really has a variety of rope and cordage that it appeals to. And this tool, let me walk you through this tool. And I'll put links to these. You can get these off of Amazon. They're not expensive, but they are helpful. I mean, if you do have a cordage bag, you can throw one of these in there, and I think you'll use it for a variety of things. I mean, we even punched this through some canvas tarp so we could run some stitching in it because we were setting up a shelter. So that comes in handy, especially when you heat it up a little bit, and you can seal the hole when you go in there. Now this tool has some tricks up its sleeve. It has this piece, which is a flat piece, which comes in handy a lot. It also, you can take it apart this way, and you can put it on the end of a line, and you can use this to thread this through. Now, if you're using paracord all the time and you don't use as much climbing rope, they have a similar thing for paracord, which is basically called a fid. And you can use this to lace through all kinds of things. If strictly small diameter rope is what you use, then a fid is absolutely valuable to have. These things weigh nothing. You don't even notice it's in the bag. It comes in handy for a variety of situations. It's threaded on this end, so you just basically melt the cord, put it in there, thread it in till it's tight, and you could just lace this, run it like a needle all day long. These things are super valuable. At minimum, I would have one of these in my kit. But it's nice to have larger ones too, because like I said, we do kayaking, so we have dock line, and we do rock climbing, so we have actual technical ropes for rock climbing. These things do come in handy with a larger diameter rope. And this thing has, like I said, it has all kinds of utility. The more you use it, the more you'll find ways to use it. I really like this one. This is extremely cost effective, but it's a beautiful Marlin Spike. It really is. And like I said, I'll put links to these. I got them off Amazon. Both these tools, super inexpensive, but super valuable in the field. Now, back to the subject. You can use this for a variety of things. The pliers work extraordinarily well. I have found that carrying something, I can reach down and grab something, and then this just really feels extremely ergonomic. Like it'll pinch down something. Say I don't want to have the load of the handle or the rope on my hands. I just want to carry this. To me, that feels much better. And the same with a Marlin Spike. You can run a Marlin Spike knot around this and basically run the cordage through your fingers, and you can use this as a handle to keep the friction and stress of the rope off of your skin. People have used it for that for forever. That's an old sailor's trick. You can also use it to, hold in your hand like this, run it around with specific wrap and knot, and lower things down while keeping the tension on your hand. There's a million different ways to use this thing. I really don't have time to go over all the uses for it. If you do invest in one, then just go ahead and look it up and check it out and find out what applications work for what you're doing and where you think it'll be valuable. But I guarantee you, at some point, it's going to be valuable to you. And like I said, this one has a knife and it's serrated, so you can cut cordage. If you're a person that cuts, I don't cut rope unless I absolutely have to, but sometimes you absolutely have to, and a serrated blade works extraordinarily well. Now, I know you can get knots out with your multi-tool, and I've done that many, many times. And there are other things, other little tricks and uh, things that we have evolved into with technology you can use for your rope work. These are some of them. Another thing that I use whenever I'm doing really, really specific rope work are these hemostats. You can just like grab hold of you can lace it through, open it up, grab the rope, and you can just pull it through. And they have a long reach. You can get these things extremely long. They come in handy as well. And you usually have them in your first aid kit anyway, so you have them on hand. You might as well use them, especially if you're doing some really unique weave work. I think that this tool is really valuable. I have used it many, many times. Like I said, these things ride in my cordage bag just in case I need them. And I have used them many, many, many times. I even made one myself. This one I made myself just out of a piece of aluminum rod, just turned it. Works great. But it is not near as specialized as this tool. So this is a sailor's tool or a Marlin Spike knife, however you want to look at it. It's a great little tool and it has a variety of applications. You can use this for so many things. You could even use it for self-defense. I wonder how many people have met their end on the end of a Marlin Spike. That is terrifying. But, back in the day, open sea, who knows what happens. So, this is a Marlin Spike knife. This is a Marlin Spike. I wanted to bring this to your attention. I wanted to show it to you, maybe introduce you to it. If you're familiar with it, then chime in the comments. Let me know how you use it, or if you use one, or if you find it valuable at all. I have met people that don't see the point in carrying this, and that's fine. But to each their own. I find value in it. I think it really helps out. I have used it many, many times, and I'll carry it with me from here on out. So, if you're interested in this tool, I'll leave a link in the description below. And I hope you guys got some information out of this. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. My channel, our channel, is gaining momentum and it's getting stronger with every like, with every subscription. I cannot tell you how thankful I am. Thank you so much for every like. Thank you so much for every subscription. And if you haven't given me a subscription yet, please do that. And, feel free to engage in the comments because this is a community and I want to grow a community of like-minded people that find value in each other. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is 1111 Outdoors, and we will talk to you soon.